YouTube. This is Lefty79, the commissioner of the NFL Stableford League, with you once again for the road to the Super Bowl in the NFL Stableford League as we recap the championship games of the AFC and the NFC. Starting off here with the NFC on your screen, as it's the Minnesota Vikings taking on the New York Giants. We'll get into this game in just a moment. I just wanted to say hello to everyone. And thank you for joining me all season long. And we're near the end of this journey on this 2021 season as we have one more week to go, which is the Super Bowl. I just wanted to have a couple of quick announcements here. Congrats to Coinhen on the new name announcement for the Washington franchise. Can't call them the football team anymore, as that is now in the past. So a very a commanding performance there by uh, that franchise on naming themselves the Washington Commanders. Wow, the commies are gonna be fired up for March Madness, and I'm looking forward to seeing what they can do. If Zach can find somebody to take over the commies before then, uh, maybe it'll be a different owner. So we'll find out. But I have given him permission to seek help. I mean, seek assistance in finding a new owner, and we'll see if that happens or not. Otherwise, the commies will go forward with Coinhen uh, in March Madness. But speaking of March Madness, I did announce the courses last week. Just another quick update on that. I am going to stay with the handicaps that we used in the season that just ended. I don't want to change anything because of the fact that we're going to different courses and everything that kind of happened in the season. I'm not really sure if that's going to translate to March Madness, as we're going to be playing on many different courses throughout the course of, well, nice pun there, throughout the duration of the tournament. So I don't think the handicaps are going to be very impactful uh, as much as they were in the regular season and in the playoffs in this season. But my plan for the handicaps going forward is when the new season begins in 2022 season, wherever that season will commence. I will be making adjustments to the handicaps prior to that season. So if you made the playoffs, I mean Zach kind of intimated this in the Discord that he can't wait for Cade's handicap to go down. Well, I can confirm that in this podcast or in this episode of the show that that will happen. There will be adjustments for teams that played very well, and there will be adjustments for teams that struggled. So in the NFL, we always strive for parity, and so if you had a great season, just expect that next year you're going to have to work a little harder, and it'll be a different game more than likely. So we'll see if it even matters, as there might be people that are going to be rock stars in this new game that maybe struggled in this game. So as it is, it's going to be very exciting no matter what. But there will be a carryover from the 2021 season. Uh, I don't know what the Tours is going to do, or I don't know what they're going to do with the new game whenever that comes out. But we're staying with whatever master difficulty will look like in this new game. I don't know if it's going to be if it's going to be more difficult, or if it's going to be a little bit easier than what we're playing right now. But I'd like to stay with the difficulty level and be consistent with that. But as it is, the handicaps will definitely be changing, but they won't change until the new season. Just for the continuity of the league, and basically to kind of mimic that the bad teams will get a better draft choice. So their performance will improve with better players coming into their team, whereas the teams that are at the top are going to have to work a little bit harder to stay there. So that was my idea that I kind of came up with in the last week or so. Zach's post kind of triggered a little bit of that as well, but I had an inkling that I was gonna go a little bit more by what the results were in the season previously than just going by a bunch of data and doing a curve system or something like that. Because the points kind of lie at sometimes because some teams scored a ton because they played easier courses than other teams, and that's why I just think points would have skewed it way too much. Like Bino, I know played on a tough course. I know Franz played on a tough course, so their numbers are going to look lower, and they would have probably have increased handicap, but they both made the playoffs. So yeah, that didn't really make any sense to me to reward them with more handicap. So I'm gonna definitely tweak what I was gonna do. I do have uh, I do have the handicaps pretty much figured out. So like the further along you went in the playoffs, you'll probably have less handicap, whereas the teams that had a really tough season that didn't really win that many games, you'll definitely be probably getting an increase. So yeah, I mean, I don't want to incentivize suck, but at the end of the day in the NFL, the sucky teams tend to get better as the years go by if they draft well and the talent on the field improves. But for some teams, it never happens. It never gets better. So, and that's just some the part of that's just the culture of the franchise, and part of that's just lack of player development. So, uh, but I just feel like in this league, when I try to give everybody a fighting chance, and with the disparity between the tier levels that we all play on. I mean, we all play this game at a different level, but some better than others. But the handicap system may not be the most popular thing, but to me, in a league that's based on parity and has a salary cap, handicaps make sense to me. So they're gonna stay in 2022, Patrick. So just so you know, I'm not calling anybody out, Patrick, but uh, the handicaps will stay on, and I'm not trying to choose violence today with that, but I just want to make a clarification because I know that Discord gets pretty chatty, and I just want to make sure that everybody understands that we're all on the same page here. So going forward, and also final signature badges. Now that the commanders have been announced, that signature badge will look awesome, I'm sure, on Zach's forum posts going forward. I mean, Ashley Hardcastle, if he's still going by that moniker. So as it is, yeah, I'm definitely choosing some violence on this Friday. So uh, I did wake up, and yeah, I guess that's where I'm going here. So, but we're gonna get into the championship round and the championship games here, and start off with the NFC as mentioned earlier. It's Andrew's Minnesota Vikings coming in after a big win at home against San Francisco in the divisional round, 30 to 28. They've won their last seven. They've been an absolute they've been on an absolute roll since winning the NFC North, and it seems like playing at home has really been great for them this year. But now they have to go on the road to face a difficult Giants team who has been playing lights out, Stableford, all season long, as it's Tag Rockets New York Giants who will be hosting at MetLife, coming off a big win in the divisional round at home against the Buccaneers, 29 to 20. So we'll see who takes this one. Going in, just some fun facts. The last time these two teams met in a championship game in the NFC was January 14th, 2001. Now, I don't know if Don remembers this one, but it was at the Meadowlands, and it was the New York Giants defeating the Vikings 41 to nothing. Wow. Now that was an absolute ass kicking. Just putting that nicely. So I don't think that this game is going to be quite that much of a disparity. But I definitely expect the Vikings to put up a way better performance than what they did that season, as I believe that was the year that um, I think that was the season. Was that the Kerry Collins season of going to Super Bowl 35 to take on the Ravens, where they had a tough go of it in that one. Be more Golf Pro remembers that one, I'm sure. Eddie remembers that. So, but as we go into this game, both teams uh, playing their best Stableford. This is what you want in an NFC Championship game. And as it was, the Giants actually didn't really play as they stumbled out of the gate a little bit at home in this one. It was a little bit surprising there. But the Vikings, unfortunately, weren't really able to put much on the board either, as both teams really were kind of struggling a little bit more than usual, as there might have been a little bit of nerves, as it is a championship game, and everybody, you know, could have been some passes that were a little overthrown, and just the defenses are really amped up for this one. And as the game went on, though, the Giants definitely started to feel a lot more comfortable with their home crowd behind them and their environs that they're used to so well. I mean, they played great at home all season long, and that did not change in this game, as it was the New York Football Giants, Big Blue, really kind of putting this one away a little bit early in the fourth quarter, as the Vikings just were not able to put up enough points to really stay in the game. I mean, they did get a couple big scores late, but the Giants had already put too much distance in between themselves and the Vikings, as it was the New York Giants 28 and the Minnesota Vikings 25. So the Giants will be representing the NFC in the Super Bowl at California Tour Club in Los Angeles or Inglewood. So, congrats to Tag Rocket, Don. You've been a hell of an ambassador for NFL Stableford this season. I I've seen such great posts all season long from you, and you know, I mean, I'm not trying to kiss your you know what, but like I've seen a huge change in like how you report your scores now, and I don't know what it is, man. I just maybe this podcast or maybe this show or maybe something triggered. But at the end of the day, I know like I've known you for a while with playing in 24K and Happy Tea Friends and just seeing your name on the tours. So I have the utmost respect for you that you made it to the Super Bowl this season in your first. This is the first Super Bowl for the Giants. I remember after the first season, I gave you the team because I was the Giants my first year because I don't think anybody else really wanted them. But when you joined the league, I remember you asking me for them, and I said, you know what? The Packers owner Chuck had just left the league or was kind of dumped out because he just kind of stopped playing. But I ended up taking the Packers over, and I remember giving you the Giants, and you have really done a number on the league with them this year. And wow, the G-men are now in the Super Bowl and representing the metro area very well in New York. So congrats to you and New Jersey. I mean, since they technically play their home games there. But congrats to you again, Don. I know it's been quite a long journey to get here. Uh, you started off like what was it? Last year was I think previous season was your first season in the league, but that seems like it's so long ago. I mean, I know this is like the third season that I've actually run with the NFL with the NFL schedule, but where does the time go? But yeah, just an unbelievable season for the Giants and the Vikings. Andrew is a tough opponent, and he's been in the league from the beginning. And I know he's been the Vikings ever since he started in the league. And just the utmost respect to you as well, sir, as you've had quite a great season again, winning the NFC North, taking away my crown, which maybe not the most thrilled about, but you know what, I gotta give it to you. You played awesome all season long, my friend from Canada, and unfortunately, it's the end of the road here. But the Vikings, you can, even though you didn't skull to the bowl, you got pretty damn far, and you should be proud of that effort. And we'll be seeing you in March Madness in about 3 weeks from now. So the selection show for that will be, I'll do that on Saturday. So it'll be, yeah, about 3 weeks from tomorrow. So, but congratulations to you again, Andrew, on the season, and congrats again to Don, to Tag Rocket, to making it to the Super Bowl. With that said, we're going to head over to the AFC and let's find out what happened there, as we got two teams here that are we're putting up points in bunches, as the away team, the road team in this AFC matchup in the AFC Championship is Cade's Miami Dolphins taking on the number one seed in the AFC, the upstart, surprising Cincinnati Bengals of Jason. Now, I don't think anybody would have thought going into this 2022 season that, the Bengals were going to be in the Super Bowl in real life and in the NFL Stableford League. Life imitates art. That's all I can say. It just, well, and not Art Vandalay either. Art as an art form. But unbelievable performances here by both of these teams to get to this point. Cade, I don't think anybody had money on the Dolphins getting here. Just from a pure fact that Cade's a rookie. He basically started off this season, and he was like guy down in like CCK or I, or once you start getting into those letters, it's like, wow, you're gonna have a little bit of a tough road here as a rookie, and he's getting 3 points a handicap. I mean, this guy's gonna really have to work hard, and he has. I mean, after missing the first couple weeks due to some acts of God, he came back and took the team back over. And kudos to Brandon Carroll for taking that caretaker role. But Cade came back and just played lights out Stableford for at least the first couple months he came back. Had a couple stumbles along the way. Had a couple issues with the flex tape on the tank getting a little bit loose, but it's a long season, and not every week's gonna go great, and sometimes the concentration level's not there, and you got other stuff going on in your life, and you can totally understand that. But as it is, Cade, uh, congrats for getting this far, and we'll see how this matchup went against Jason's Cincinnati Bengals, who coming in was a favorite. I mean, I just remember the first power rankings that came out. He was livid because he didn't know, that the Bengals are not very good the season before in this league. So he thought going in, I was gonna probably rank him like in the top 5 or top 10 or something like that. And I just remember Zach going on the Discord and just like put him at number one already. And it was comedy gold there that happened. And I just said, Zach, I just said, hey Jason, this is based on like what happened last year. Undoubtedly you're gonna move up, and sure enough, I mean he's here now in the AFC Championship, and was, I think, ranked number 3 to end the season. So as is, yeah, Don is the number one ranked team going into the going into the Super Bowl, and Andrew is the number 4 team in the NFC Championship game. So I mean, 1 versus 4 we had there, and in this game, Cade comes in as the 7th ranked team to end the season, and Jason comes in as number 3. So it's just the power rankings. I mean, I might not have gotten them all right, but uh, I'm pretty happy with how this all shook out in terms of how I felt things were looking here. But Cade definitely was a surprise, the surprise of the season, whereas Jason was more of the what the hell? How come I'm not number one? But Jason, you made it here. You had a couple bumps. You only lost a few games. I think 4 games all year long, and you played. You deserve the spot. You deserve to be here, as you've always been. It's I don't think you had a week below 25 points at all, like in this whole season. So That's just consistency that's just unmatched right now in the league. And the Bengals, hey, maybe a dynasty in the making here. But as we go into this game, as we delve into this further into this matchup, the Dolphins, Cade comes in on a 4 game winning streak. Uh, Won last week in the divisional round at home against the Chargers of Bino, 25-23. That was a slugfest. That wasn't quite as high flying as I would have thought, but the Dolphins defense did just enough to get them through. And as they say, defense wins championships. But on the other side here at home here, the Bengals, they come in winning their last 2 games because they did have a little bit of a stumble toward the end of the season, but they had already clinched the AFC North by then. They are coming off a big win against their division rival, the Baltimore Ravens, at home in the divisional round, 29-28. That game came down to the end. Just a classic game between two division rivals in the playoffs. You couldn't really ask for more there. So Jason's been battle tested this season for sure. So we'll see if future Buckeye can pull this one off. As a little bit of a fun fact about these two teams in real life. The last time these two teams played in a playoff game, the Dolphins hosted the divisional round matchup at the Orange Bowl back on December 23rd, 1973. So, who was all born then in this league? Because I was not. As you know, my name is Lefty79. So, yeah, that was 6 years before I was just a twinkle in my dad's eye yet. But some of you may have been born and may have even watched that game. But if you did watch that one, it was the Dolphins winning 34-16. So can the Dolphins repeat that effort here in the playoffs against the Bengals? We'll find out. But let's get down to the field. Let's get down to the game as the Bengals obviously started off on fire. I mean, there's just no way about to really describe it. They've just been playing great all season long, and it just seemed like the playoffs. The train just kept rolling as the Dolphins, on the other hand, had a little bit of a struggle, but the conditions, very high scoring, and that will definitely come to fruition here in this one as the Bengals had a little bit of a lead at the half, but then the Dolphins really started to pour it on and they really started to feel it in that second half, whereas the Bengals just kept trying to trade punches with them and stay in the game. And the Dolphins and and the Chargers, the Dolphins and the Bengals end up tied going into overtime, 30-30. Both teams just left it out on the field. Just the excellence of execution here for both teams. And it was the Cincinnati Bengals on their first possession in overtime. They won the toss and they matriculated the ball right down the field and put it in the end zone. It was the Cincinnati Bengals defeating the Miami Dolphins 36-30 to advance to the Super Bowl in Inglewood, California, to take on the New York Giants of Don Tag Rocket. Very well done by the Bengals to pull this one off, and Cade played a hell of a game as well. You can't an epic performance here in Cincinnati between two teams that neither of them wanted to go home. I mean, the Dolphins have had such a Cinderella season. And you know what? It wasn't all luck. I mean, Cade played great when he needed to, and yeah, you got to get some breaks. But in this one, he gave everything he could to match this Bengals team, and Jason just was not going to be denied, and that's exactly what happened here. So both teams, just big kudos. The AFC has been a definite a tough conference. I mean, to win the AFC this year, I mean, both conferences I mean, the playoffs have been great this year. All games have been really, really closely matched for the most part. Yeah, we had a couple that maybe weren't quite as much, but uh, this AFC though, I mean, it was a big thing. There was 10-win teams that didn't make the playoffs in the AFC. The NFC really can't say that, but as it is, this matchup in the Super Bowl is going to be epic between the Giants and the Bengals. Two teams, two players I have the utmost respect for, facing it off for the Lombardi Trophy. So I hope you enjoyed this recap of the conference championship games in the NFL Stableford League. Uh, I'm just overjoyed at how this season has gone and the amount of camaraderie and the amount of just how easy it was this year to run this league. I mean, you guys made it really easy on me. Cade played a hell of a season. I just want to give you your shout out before I sign off here. But just the Dolphins are relevant again, folks. I mean, they are relevant, and that is not because of the stuff that's been going on in the news. It's because in the NFL Stableford League, they are definitely a force to be reckoned with going forward, and in March Madness. And I wish you the best of luck in that, Cade. And thank you for your humor and the fun that you bring to the league week in and week out, and I really do appreciate it. As for Jason, you are one tough competitor. Uh, you, I love your Burrow jersey. I think that was very well done. Uh, nothing. Hey, it's number nine is number nine. He's gonna be tough. He's gonna be one tough guy in the Super Bowl for Don to deal with. And good luck to you next week. I'll have more comments for you next week, I'm sure, singing your praises. But we'll see what happens as the Super Bowl is already in progress here. We do not have a final yet, but when we do get one, I will definitely be signing on to wrap up the season and award some award maybe do a little bit of a post, maybe do some fun awards maybe at the end here, like an NFL honors type thing, just to you know give some shout outs to some of the offbeat things that happen in the season. And I'll have to find some moments that stand out to me. But as it is, I'm looking forward to the Super Bowl. I hope you all are too. I want to thank you for staying with me on this journey throughout this season. And it's still going. We got one more week left, and then will be a little bit of a break heading into the March Madness selection show. But once again, this has been Lefty79 saying thank you again for watching, and we'll see you next week for the matchup in the Super Bowl, as it will be Don Tagrocket's New York Giants taking on the Cincinnati Bengals of Jason. Thank you once again for joining me, and we'll see you again down the road. Goodbye, everybody.